Hi, this is Jennifer Takis. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And today I'm going to show you how to make these sweet, quick and easy fabric yo-yos, which you can use to decorate all kinds of things, from your cards and paper crafting projects to any other things that you can dream up. So they're incredibly easy to make. You just need a needle and thread. And some advice with the thread, I would say, if you haven't sewed before, cut the thread about the length of your forearm. And then I like to knot the end of my thread before I start sewing so that I don't accidentally pull it through the other end. But wrap it around your forefinger 2 or 3 times, and then twist it. You can see that. And then pull it. And then you'll have a nice secure knot there at the end of your thread. Now, the circle that I have here, I have cut out using my circle die. This is the Circles 2 die, Sizzix die, which is still available in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. Now, you'll want to just take the circle here, fabric circle, and start towards the edge. Not too close to the edge, because if the fabric frays, it'll pull right through. So probably about 1/8 to 1/16 of an inch away from the edge. And you can do this kind of slowly and carefully, like this. Pull it through, and then back up. And what you're doing is called a running stitch or a basting stitch. But what I like to do, and you can get a little rhythm going, is to weave my needle in and out of the fabric, because it just makes it go a little bit faster. And once I get a few of those, then I'll pull it through. And then start it up again. And you may moan and groan about the idea of hand sewing versus machine sewing if you have a sewing machine. It's kind of like the why use a manual transmission if you have an automatic. But in this case, sewing in this tight of a curve like this circle can be kind of difficult with a machine, and you may end up more frustrated unless you have an attachment for your machine for sewing in the round, and then you could just set a long basting stitch and do it that way. But this really doesn't take much time. And one of the things that I like about hand sewing, it's relaxing, it's soothing, it helps you just sit still and be quiet. When I hand sew, I like to put on my favorite Beethoven for Book Lovers album, and I just find it very peaceful, therapeutic. But this takes probably just a minute or two, and you see as I'm getting closer to the end here. And the rhythm, you'll get going and you can make your stitches pretty even, but it doesn't necessarily affect it. Even if they're uneven, you'll still end up with a cute yo-yo, so it's a forgiving project. So now that I'm done, I pull the needle out there, and then I'm going to pull the end of the knot and pull these both together, and you'll see it just will curve up nicely there. And I pick up the end of that thread. My hands are dry, so makes it hard to hold the thread. And you just tie it, and when you tie it, it'll pull tight, which is what you want. And you'll see it's kind of a little lumpy shape right now, but we'll fix that. And then once you have those tied, you can cut them down pretty close, like that. Okay, and then you can kind of push this out, and if you want to get a little bit more of the pleats out, I just pick up the end of a seam ripper or the needle that I used and kind of pick, but do this gently because you don't want to put a snag in your fabric. But you can see there we have the yo-yo. Now I'm going to show you how I've used them on this card here, and it just adds such a pretty vintage kind of homemade grandma's attic kind of look to this card. Very romantic, very sweet. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. And please visit my blog at stampedandfold.blogspot.com for more information, more tips and tricks.